get this show on the road. Right, we're starting with the left-hand side guard. So that means we've got 3 hold positions to figure out. Well, 1, 2, 3. Pretty much feel under there. How many have we got on the live? Hey up, we've got 11 people on live. Jeez. I was expecting nobody. I thought I'll just do a random live session. Where are you from? The Jackson 5? I was not from Jackson 5, no. Is that Ryan asking that? I can't moonwalk. I don't have a very good singing voice. Sorry guys, there will be no break dancing tonight. Right, so these T-Rex guards come with this transport bracket, so we're just getting rid of that so that we can fit this left-hand side cover. We are a bit chilly in the garage tonight, hence the big woolly jacket. There we go. So there are some instructions for these brackets. Sorry about the camera, it's just my tablet that we've got going on here. So it does come with some pretty decent instructions. We've got, can you see that? It tells us which exact length bolts we're going to use. So the left hand side one uses 370mm long ones. So I'm going to assume that these that came in here are 70mm long. They appear to be. So we just need to find one more. So it came with a bag of bolts. Let's find the 70mm one. And not that one. That one. Alright, so we've got 3 70mm. And it does call for the use of blue Loctite. So we're going to get some blue Loctite. Ta-da! As if they're magic. I like this kind of paste stuff rather than the drippy liquid crap. Alright, so first job is to get these existing bolts out of here. So figure out the hex head size. There we go. What is that, 5mm? 5mm indeed. Well, thanks to the 3 people that are still here. Appreciate you guys. Hello to Mutfan, is that your name? Thanks for saying hello. Yeah, Omnibus Chris, were you from the Jackson 5? No. Fairly obviously. Okay, so this looks like we need off the 3 in this area right here. That's 1 original bolt. Get the second one off. It's a good idea when you're taking the bolt out that you get an idea with your own hands how tight they are in, because this is an aluminium casing that we're screwing into. We do not want to cross thread or ruin the threads when we tighten these back up. So it does come with specified torque rating in the instructions. I think it said 5 pound per foot. Yeah, 5 feet per pound. However you say that, you American guys. Being European, obviously I like the Newton meters. Okay, so we've got our kit to install on this side. We've got a 370mm, so it's got some spaces here. So we'll drop out the screws as we get this in place. Alright, so just like that. Now it was a bit of a concern when I was looking at these, like you can see how thick they are, and when we've got the bike cranked over, are we gonna be rubbing these on the ground? But I really don't think so. If you look at where my foot's gonna be, my foot is probably here. So if my foot is touching the floor, then I know I'm getting close. But honestly, I've not got anywhere close, I don't think, on this bike at least, to getting my foot on the floor. So I think we're safe. All right, so leave that there for a second. Bit of blue Loctite. If you've ever asked yourself how much Loctite is enough or too much, I don't know. I just go with what feels right. So, where are you? I generally do like a smear up and down. I kind of go with the premise that there's never too much Loctite, but what do I know? I'm just a normal guy. Right, so which one are we going to do first? Let's do this. Alright, there's always a good idea to put your bolt through any spaces before you put your Loctite on. Else the Loctite ends up in the spacer. But we're okay. We got it. We got it, guys. Alright, first one going in. We'll get this going. Just feeling. Pretty tight. Right, we'll get that one just settled in there. And we'll get this next one in. Oh. If there's nobody left in a minute, then I'll just switch the live off and carry on my filming. But there we go. Right, that one's feeling a little bit nicer. So we'll get the third one going. Bum, bum, bum. So whoever's still left, who are you guys? Where are you from? What are you up to? What bikes have you got? Have you got bikes? Making some assumption. Can you actually hear me? Or am I just talking to myself? Can I see the chat? Oh, sorry, there were some messages. Would you rather watch tree grow or knee grow? Okay. Ah, Michael's in. Hi, Michael. Sorry, I didn't see your messages. Hola, Nicholas. Is that Nicholas? South Carolina, there we are, represent. Yeah, so we're just doing a bit of race prep tonight, basically. So if you want to go racing, one of the things that they're usually asking for is case engine covers to stop you spilling oil all over the track if you wear through your engine cases. So that's what we're doing tonight. Yes, we've got both sides. How easy it is to film the other side, I don't know yet. But we are doing both sides. Way up. Here we go. Just taking this nice and easy. Feels like there's some thread locker in already. So, just trying to feel my way in with the bolt. We'll get them tightened up evenly to begin with. How's the R7 going, Michael? Are you all ready? Have you got any track days booked yet? Alright, so snugged up. You can tell you're getting old when you can't kneel on the floor anymore. I advise getting one of these foam boards for your knees. No track days yet, waiting on new leathers. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, I could really do with some new leathers. Does anybody else find that your knees get real tight in the leathers? Maybe it's just me. But I get real uncomfortable in the knee area of my leathers. I really could do with some either adjustment on the leathers or a new set. But the budget right now is all to do with the bike, so we need to get that sorted out first before we can think about going racing. Alright, so I've switched to the torqueometer and we have to tighten to 5 foot-pound. Now this is a small torque wrench and that means we've got to convert it into inches per pound, which I already did earlier today, thankfully. So that is 60 inch pounds, which is there. All right. So, hopefully I've got the right sockets for this. There we go, let's try that. All right, so here we go. Listen for the click. she was. God damn it. There we are. Full focus mode. There we go. We do not want to strip these threads. Alright, so that's the 3 bolts there. Lovely. Just do a second pass. There she is. Alright, first one in place. Nice and solid. At least being nice and thick, then it ain't gonna wear through quickly if we do go down. So that's nice. Alright, have I missed any messages? Don't think so. Okay, so that's one side, buttoned up. Got some spare bolts there, so always keep your old bolts, always going to come in handy for something. I'm going to turn my other camera off. This thing's crazy, isn't it? Teeny tiny. 4K resolution. Alright, whilst there's some people in, 7 people in, hands up if you use one of these at your track days for extracting the fuel from your tank so that you know how much fuel you're actually using. Hands up if you use one of those. Because I never did, like my first, I don't know, let's say 5 track days, I had no idea how much fuel I was putting in the bike, and you would be, well, you probably all felt it yourself. Like you can tell how much the fuel makes changes to the bike's balance. So on the SV650, when I was racing that, typically a race, I would put in, I think somewhere in the region of 6 litres, maybe, because we had to do the sighting laps, typically a 15-minute race, and then we needed sufficient fuel in the bike to, if we were called to the dyno check, to run on the dyno and pass the horsepower level that we were only supposed to have. So you needed to be pretty accurate with your fuel levels, but it's also obviously beneficial for track day in as well. You don't want to be running around with too much fuel in there. Still too new, sorry, where's that gone? Still too new to track days. I fill up with the pumps at the track. Need to bring my own gas. Yeah, that's fair enough. And obviously you don't want to run out of fuel on your track day. That's the most embarrassing thing, isn't it? I have been there and done it, so I know what that's like. So yeah, I get it. But if you can, it's a nice thing to get a habit of doing eventually, because yeah, it makes you more efficient and helps you keep the bike in a performance window that you're used to, I guess. Right, I'm just doing, so this is going to be the right hand side engine case guard. So again, it comes with a transport bracket that we're taking off. And then in a minute, I've got to figure out where to put the camera so we can see the other side. The other option is to flip the bike around. Okay. Well, there's, you know. I guess this is more interesting when you got more than one person on the live than just one guy in the garage, freezing cold, doing jobs. But hey, appreciate those that are here. Thanks for watching. If you are a regular viewer and subscriber and like my videos, then again, thank you very much. So I did email Two Wheel Dynaworks. So if you don't know who Two Wheel Dynaworks are, they are ECU reflashes as one. That's just part of their job. They do other things, I'm sure. Because if you haven't seen any of my videos, again, we had the ECU reflashed for the exhaust system we've got on the bike. By them, that's already been done, but we have taken some time to do some work on an intake system. So I contacted Nate over at Two Wheel Dynaworks, and he confirmed that if you are having if you're having an update, let's say, on an ECU that you've already had flashed by them, whether you contact them or whether you can see it on their website already, there's a link to, I guess, like a contact form where you tell them that you are sending your ECU back, and that, you know, the reason why. What have you changed? What do you need updating on your ECU? And so that they know to expect that it's coming in. Sorry, I've just been messing about with this while I'm talking. Getting the transport bracket off. These spacers keep falling out all over the floor. So that's hilarious. So yeah, you fill out the contact form, and then I guess there's like, if there isn't a reference number on that, then at least they know if you pop in the, I don't know, your email or whatever, they'll get it in, and all you have to do is cover the shipping fees back to you, but then they'll update the ECU for no extra cost than your initial outlay. So that's cool, and we will be doing that, but I won't be doing it until, so in about a week and a half, we're going to run this on the dyno and just see what it's making now, because what I want to do is check the before, so with this airbox in place, and then the new, if I can go and grab it. If you've seen the latest video, you'll know that this is my version of the Horde Power intake kit. It's trying to be exactly the same as the Horde Power kit. Go and watch that video if you've not watched it already. So once we've had a run with the standard stuff, because I could just bolt this on and see what she makes, right? But I'm not on the same dyno as Two Wheel Dynaworks. So if the numbers were up or down, I wouldn't know how well I've made this until I had a baseline. So let's say I run this with this airbox system on. Yeah. The charts from Two Wheel Dynaworks are on the website, right? So let's say with this in place, we would make maybe 71, 72 horsepower. But if I go to another dyno station and I make 73, then if this makes 2 more than it should do, then I know we've got a relative step that matches what the Horde Power should give us. And the same way going down. If this only makes 69 on somebody else's dyno, and we put this on and it makes 72, 71, then that's not surprising. It means that this is doing a relative performance change. Somebody else's dyno that reads differently to two-wheel Dynaworks, but at least we know we've got a comparative, relative performance gain. Anyway, that's boring, I'm sure, but I just wanted to explain why we're doing what we are doing. Right, next thing I've got to do is swap you around to the other side. So forgive me whilst you go dark. I've got to move the light around, so sorry. Let's see if I can get this all in the one shot. Ah, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful view, that, isn't it, eh? So this is a bit more involved. A few more bolts to get taken out. I'm gonna try and fit myself in over here. So if you see more of my fat belly, forgive me. Okay, important part, the instructions to show us where the spaces should be going. To keep that correct, Loctite, guard, and extra bolts. Right, bear with me, squeezing in. Here we are. Old man kneeling pad for the win. This is the reality, guys. Race prep as an amateur single entity. So I've worked on race bikes in the freezing cold in my race trailer in the past. So not unusual for me to be in this situation. Let's get this moved forward actually. Alright, you see that okay? Still here, still alive everybody. I'm boring you to death, sorry. Okay, let's try it. So, all right, so there's only one spacer that I think is any different to the other ones. So, as long as we keep a track of where, that's going, we'll be all right. Because these keep falling out all over the place on this one. As you can see. Take the bolts out. Turn the instructions the right way up because I can't read them upside down. So who else? Who else is a track dayer or is a racer? Give us a shout. Are you all R7 people racing other bikes? Let me know. Who here started on an SV650 like I did? That'll be a fun question. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts. And somehow I've only got 4. What have I done? Or are we reusing one? That's a bit of a concern, isn't it? Anyway, so this lives here. Like so. If we are missing a bolt, then I'm going to have to go find one from Ace Hardware or something like that. Which is not the end of the world, we'll get it done, I'm sure. Why is that live chat not staying up on the screen? CBR 600, yeah, loves it. That was my first big road bike, was the CBR 600. I bought it for like £700, I think, which is maybe $1,000. It was the old school one. The guy was a racer and he had rebuilt this one to sell it on. Basically, I was new to the bike world. I had no better idea, but to be fair, it was a Honda. It worked perfectly fine. No real issues. Managed to sell it on eventually. Okay, gotta focus here, gotta focus. Right, 1, 2, 3 there. That one there and that one there. All right, here we go. All right. The CBR 600 was the fastest I'd been on a road. Managed to get it up to like 142 indicated on the road. That was enough for me. I do prefer the smaller bikes for some reason. I'm not actually ridden a 1000cc bike. One day I will, but so far have not. Well, no, I'm forgetting I had an SV1000, so I don't categorize it as 1000 because it wasn't 4-cylinder. But I had an SV1000 for a while. Somebody had tried to make it into a bit of a street fighter bike and put a Gixxer front end on it, which I thought was going to be amazing. But that bike was the worst handling thing I think I've ever tried to ride. It would not, it was so unstable in the middle of the corner. It felt like it wanted to fall in on you at every opportunity. No matter what I did, I set up all the suspension. I even tried clip-ons just in case that was something. But in the end, I just gave up and I actually swapped it for another SV650. So I had a road SV650 and a race SV650 all at the same time, which was kind of good because I could go out and pretend I was racing and practice a little bit, let's say. Alrighty, so we've got 2 M6070s going up here, like that. I need another spacer like that. The short spacer is going in there, and the other 2 other size spacers in here. So that's all the spacers. Let's try and get a bit of thread lock on here. The Goldilocks amount. Oh goodness, that was a lot. That was a lot of thread lock. And squeeze it back off a bit. All right, Here we go, Johnny-O. Line her up. Got all the spacers in place. Yep. Let's get that one going. Here she is. Yeah, this is quite a chunky engine case protector, isn't it? Why does that? It does not feel like it's sitting right. Why? Why? This is why you don't do things live. Because it's gonna go wrong, isn't it, if you do something live? It does not seem to sit right. This side's okay. Is it just kind of bent a little bit? I think there's just some flex in it, and I think it's kind of maybe flexing outwards. I think that's all it is. So it's got to fit. Don't get me wrong, it's gonna fit, but it's not sitting as nicely as I thought it might. Alright, so let's persevere a little bit. See how we get on next. Should you start from the other side? That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't think it's going to make any difference, Michael. Right here. Oh no, it's not. Well, I'll try it. Let's try it, shall we? This is a very uncomfortable position I'm in right now. So if I take some pressure off this screw, then it sits nicely. It seems like that spacer. Have I got the wrong spacer in there? Oh God. Oh God. Bloody hell. I think they're all the same spacers though. Yeah, I mean, it's right. I think. All right, well, we're going to go for it. I think it just needs a bit of tensioning, as it were. I think it's just a bit of a pull tight situation. And I think is one of these 50mm. That might be the one that we're missing. All right, well, let's carry on for a second because I'm sick of holding it in fresh air. A little bit of thread lock there. Get this side in. So I think I've seen what I've done. I think I'll tell you what I've done, guys. Let's try this. No, I've got it right. It seemed like this bolt here, where the coolant pump is, you think that the spacer should be a bit shorter, but on the diagram there's no difference. So the only short spacer, as far as I can tell, is that one. So if I take this one as reference, that's the same as that one. It's the same as that one, it's the same as that. The only short one is this one. And that's telling me to put it here, which makes sense because that stands proud as well, because there's a bracket there. But it seems as though that one you'd think should be a shorter spacer, but somehow it isn't. It just isn't. All right, well, let's get back at it. There's a time and a place for just making it have it. This might be the one. Because I think it needs a little bit of flexing. We will see in a second. So, check out, I've got all the spacers in, spacer, spacer, spacer. Long bolt here. To go, those two at the end are 70s, so that can go in there. It's not lining up very nicely, this. This is what happens when you buy cheap. There we go, get in there. So yeah, I did look at the GB Racing products, of course, which I did use on my other bikes. I wouldn't have minded getting another set, but these were like $70 cheaper. So my racing budget is tight for the year. And that $70 can make a bit of a difference. So we are dealing with it. So this is the 60mm length one. All right. I wonder if I'm missing the 60. Bear with me. I think that's the 50 that goes in here. Yeah, that's better. So somehow they've not shipped me a 60mm M6 screw. Let's see if we can friggin' find one. Bleeding hell, Nora. Oh. Yeah. Guess what I found? I think that's 60. 10, 20, 30. That might be a 70 again. Oh my goodness. Bear with me, I'm gonna get my calipers out. Right, someone convert 2¼ inches into metric for me. What's 2¼ into metric? Well, 2 is 50. So that must be 60. Must be 60 mil, boys. We're back in business. Back in business, boys. Alright, Fred, lock that bugger. Get that in there. Well, guys, this video can be no worse than the video the other day that someone told me was complete garbage. So, if you're out there and you were the one that called my last video, or one of my videos garbage, welcome to this one. Alright. Get this nice and wound in. Take it easy. There we go. It's going in nice. Nice. Alright, finger tight-ish. Finger tight-ish. Is that coming in? There we go. Alright, so the earlier drama where I thought it wasn't fitting very well, because this is made of like it's not metal, is it? It's some kind of, well, they've got a, you tell me what it is in here. Do not copyright it, don't make your own from this design, by the way. Oh, it's made of can you see that? UHMWPE. And it's clearly got a bit of flex in it, so as we're tightening this up, it's conforming to the engine case. So it is fitting nicely, after all. Alright, back to the torque wrench. When are you doing coolant replacement? That should be your next video. Good question. Yeah, I was thinking about it. We still have winter advisories over here in Chicago. So typically when I ran a race bike in England, I would just run distilled water as a coolant, because that's what we were told to run essentially. And that obviously freezes up very easily in the winter time. So I'd love to do that. I'd love to change out the coolant. And if you have guidance on what you guys use over here in the States that might still be race viable, but not going to freeze up in Chicago for the next month, let me know. And we could perhaps look at it, but right now, literally tomorrow, we're supposed to get like 5 inches of snow. And on Friday, we're supposed to get some more snow. So it's not something that I feel like doing just yet, because I don't want the water freezing up in the engine. So it will be coming, don't worry, there will be a video coming, but maybe just not yet, okay? And I've not even looked at how you do it yet. I'm guessing that right there is the coolant drain bolt. So if I was to imagine how to do it, even though I haven't looked at the manual yet, we'd be dropping that out. We'd be grabbing hold of any of these flexi hoses we can find to make them act like a pump by squeezing them on and off. And I even, on the SV650 when I was doing it, would tilt the bike side to side just to get any last fluid movement going, to get it out of the bottom of the drain. And then refilling. The danger is when you're refilling, of course, is to avoid the airlocks in the system. And again, what we're going to end up trying to find is anywhere where there's a flexi pipe. There isn't many on the R7 that I can see. There's one right behind the radiator up top here. So that might be the one that I try and get a grab on. But we use that as a bit of a pump to try and get any of the air out. And again, leaning the bike over side to side multiple times just to try and get the air to release. Once we've got a level up at the radiator that we're happy with, run the bike, you probably see that level drop whilst the air comes out of the system. And again, sloshing it about as much as we can to try and release the air out. Eventually put a final level back in the radiator, and that's about the process. Now, there might be subtleties on the R7 that I haven't come across yet. So we will be checking the manual eventually, just to see if the service manual tells us the 100% correct way. But it will be a video that we'll make, of course. So, sneak peek for the next video that is going to be released. Not that it's here or even set off yet, but we've ordered the lower belly pan for racing. So a belly pan that is enclosed. We've ordered that actually from a UK source called CRC Fairings. The reason I've done that is because when I went to the usual places like Woodcraft, Sport Bike Track Time, sorry, what are they? Sport Bike Track Gear, STG. When I went to Armour Bodies, everybody doesn't have any stock. So it was going to take X amount of weeks to get me a belly pan. And when I looked at the shipping cost from the UK, lo and behold, the total amount for that belly pan was less than the others. Now, there's no guarantee that it's going to match up to my stock fairing. Pretty sure, like 90% sure that it's going to fit up. The other ones I know I'm pretty convinced that the other ones do match up just fine. So we're taking a bit of a risk, but a calculated one nevertheless. Right, so we're just torquing up these bolts again, 5 foot-pound on this cover here, which is 60 inch-pound on this torque wrench. So everything's buttoned up now. Do you want a close up? Just checking out, missed any messages. What are we doing? Engine covers watching Michael fumble about. Yes, exactly that. We are fumbling about. But we've got it in place. And I do actually like this. I know it's chunky, right? It's probably what? Let's measure it. It's an inch and a little bit further out from the engine, so it's a chunky guard, right? No doubt about that. But there's a chance that it keeps this coolant pump off too. Not exactly sure, but there's a chance it will. Anywho, it's in place. I don't know if this is going to refocus okay. Let me get the lights. Sorry. So professional. So profesh. You see it? So it does fit on there nice. It is snug, let's say, snug up against the engine case. But we're in place, torqued up, all the bolts were there. Sorry, TRX Racing, take it all back. All the bolts were there. So that's in, that is good stuff. I didn't have much else for this video. I didn't expect to be going live for an hour, to be honest. I thought I'd go live for 5 minutes and give up because probably nobody was going to watch. So I appreciate any of you that are still here. And thanks for watching. If you want to carry on, then I'll carry on. I'm going to set up the fuel extractor pump thingy because I want to get out all the fuel that I had in the tank from before winter, because I want to put fresh fuel in ready for my run on the dyno, which is in about a week and a half. So I'm going to get out the old fuel and go and buy some fresh stuff to put in. So bear with me and we'll get that pump figured out. And take it back around the other side. Bish bash bosh. Try not to drop my tablet on the floor. Hands up if you're having a bit of a cheeky drink. This is just a bit of vodka and coke. I didn't even film that whole last segment on my camera, so I'll just have to cover it separately. Alright, so the extractor comes with a few hoses that we can fit in the tank. And even a little brush, I think. Is that a brush? Not sure what that ring is. Anyhow, so we've got a few pipes for fitting into the fuel tank. I'm going to pick this one. This one right here is about the right size for going into the bottom of the fuel tank for extracting this fuel that's been in there over winter. And here is the pump. This happens to be from Harbour Freight, and usually there's gonna be There it is. So we've got the adapter to plug our rubber bung end in. Now, if it doesn't fit very well, you can end up putting a little bit of duct tape around it, which this feels like it needs also. And then once you have pumped out your fuel, then not only does that pipe come out, but then this part comes out and you've got like a spout here to pour the fuel into something else. And then all we need to do, I don't know what this part is all about, let's have a look. I have no idea what that's for. But anyway, we should be able to run the handle up and down, which will cause suction on the pipe and start siphoning the fuel into here. So again, if you just joined us, the reason I predominantly use one of these is to get fuel out of the fuel tank at the end of every track session or race. So whatever amount I've put in, I can measure what's coming back out again, and that gives me an idea of how much fuel to use per track day session or race. And so I can run it as efficiently as I can, with a margin of error, of course, in case there's a restart or a regrid, something like that. But this gives me the ability to measure it all out. Not the most interesting thing in the world, but it's an essential part, I believe, of your track day toolkit. All right. Having said all that, we need to make this fit in there. Right now it's not sticking in. Sure. So let me get some duct tape. We're going to seal this up a little bit with duct tape. I think that's the best idea for right this second. Dropped it. Right. And then we need to know that I've got enough pipe to go in there. Should be all right. Right, let's get some duct tape on this bad boy. So I'm just going to do this and then we'll end the video, I think. I think I've bored you guys enough. So I'm going to get a strip of tape. Ah, God damn it. All right, let's grab that around. Is that sufficient? Yes, that's going to work. Right, I actually need to get a key for the fuel tank. All right. Tank is open. Pipe going in. Let's see what happens, guys. All right, I can hear a dribble. She's working. So I don't know how much fuel was in here. Like I said, I filled it up over for the winter time. Is this the most entertaining video you've ever seen in your entire life? I think it is, right? You can start to see. Can you see it or not? There's a level in there. Sometimes you've got to fish the pipe around the tank a little bit. Refresh the suction. Obviously, do not do this in an enclosed space. I'm doing it because I'm an expert, obviously. Can you see it? There she is. Old dinosaurs, mushed up dinosaurs in there. Right, I've got a bit of paste going. Alright guys, well, this is kind of all I wanted to show you tonight. So I'm probably going to end the video. We're going to stick this fuel into a jug, pour it in the car so we're not wasting it. But then we're going to get some nice, fresh, high octane, or as high as I can get out the pumps. Ready for the dyno day in a week and a half. So if you want to buy one of these yourself, this is a Holt 2.3 gallon fluid extractor. It was about $85 from Harbour Freight, and a well worth piece of your kit for track daying or racing. And clearly I am not sponsored, so use that information as you wish. Upcoming videos, let me grab you. Hi everybody. In upcoming videos we're going to be doing, like I say, the dyno running. We're going to get the Horde power intake system fitted. We're going to try that out on the dyno as well. We're going to get fully race prepared, and we're going to get entered into some races this year on the R7. So this is all preparation. So again, if you weren't here earlier, we fitted the engine case protectors, both sides. So they are done. So we're nearly ready. There's a little bit of lock wiring maybe here and there. I need to find out the regulations to know if we do the brake caliper bolts or wheel axles or rear sprocket nuts, Loctiting or anything like that. So we're going to be racing potentially with ASRA, ASRA. So if you know the regulations, by all means stick it in the chat for things that we need to lock wire. But either way, I'll be looking at the regulation handbook and we'll go through that and you'll see all the steps in any future videos that we make. And that's about it. I'm sorry it's not the most entertaining thing. I thought I'd just do a random live video for this evening because girlfriend's busy, so why not? I appreciate you all coming along for the journey, and thanks for watching. I'm going to finish off my little tipple. Enjoy yours if you've been drinking. And me and the R7 are going to say good night and God bless. And I appreciate you watching. And now I've got to find out how to stop the live video. I think it's this button. Bye guys, thanks for watching, appreciate you being with me, and I'll see you in another session or another video sometime soon. Thanks for watching guys, bye. End.